Bruno, well done today. The start of a new era. How does it feel to start it with a win?
It's always important. It's not for us players. It's not a new era. Of course, for the club with the new coach, it is. But we have to carry on what he did in the last game against Arsenal. And the most important today was winning the game. I think overall was a good performance from everyone. We create a lot of chances. The result could be a little bit better for us, we can say, but we are happy because we get the 3 points.
They could have scored literally 60 seconds before Fred swept that one, and he's turning into something of a goal machine now, isn't he?
Oh, Fred, he has this kind of shots one per year, so he's okay for now.
He's scored more this season than he has in the previous 3.
That's good. Everyone is happy for him because he's such a nice guy. He's one that work a lot, and most part of the people don't talk about, and deserve all the credit he's getting now.
I know we've spoken about pressing quite a lot this season, but from kick-off today, it felt like there was there in more of an abundance. Is this going to be a feature now, do we feel?
No, I think it depends also in the game, you know. Sometimes you have to press a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but of course, everyone knows is one of the things that the manager wants from us, a little bit more pressure, a bit more aggressive, and we try to do it. I think the first 25 minutes from us was unbelievable, great tempo. We don't give any spaces to them. We recover a lot of balls higher on the pitch. As I said, we could score many times in the first half. I think at least 3 times we could do a little bit more in the end one, but 3 points, and that is the most important for us.
Yeah, 3 points was the most important thing for Manchester United this afternoon. They beat Crystal Palace by a 1-0. I'm reacting to that alongside Tim Sherwood, Karen Kearney and Owen Hargreaves. Owen, what did you make of that? Did you see more of what you wanted from Manchester United? I know you've been frustrated about the lack of intensity and organisation and control in recent weeks.
Yeah, well, the control was there for sure. One of the biggest issues has been intensity and also clean sheets. They got a clean sheet today. And I thought they ran out of steam a little bit after about 60, 70 minutes, but they got a win. And it was clear to see how Ralf wants to play. So I thought they played a lot higher. We said before, the centre-backs were kind of on the middle of the pitch, made the pitch a lot smaller, negates the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo's 36. You know, they got great width from the fullbacks. They got crosses in. So I liked what I saw, considering it's only, you know, a couple of days in for Ralf. United, I thought they looked pretty good. So decent start for United.
Positive early signs for you, Tim?
Yeah, the positive is the result, really. I mean, it's paramount importance that they get 3 points, maximum points. We've talked about their run of games. They've got a fantastic run on paper. They should be beating all of the teams in the next 10 games. And then, obviously, Ralf Rangnick will be a genius. I think it's a work in progress. Did I see much change? Was it chalk and cheese to a Solskjaer or a Carrick side? No. Did they scrape the win? Yes. Was Palace poor? Absolutely. I don't think they played well at all, and I think Patrick Vieira will be telling us that. But they're capable of winning them games. They're going to get better. You're going to spend more time on a training field with them. I think it's a box ticked, definitely, because you need to get some confidence. You need to get the crowd on side. I think the pressing, you know, I think we get overexcited with the high press. We hear this a lot now. It's determined on how high you have your centre-backs to close the distances up. And if you're a professional footballer, no matter if you're 46 or 36 like Ronaldo, if you close the distances up by meaning your defenders come up higher, the distances of your midfield and your forward players to close down the opposition is going to be tighter, and anyone is capable of doing that. He needs to work on that more. I think they were a little bit off the pace on their pressing. If Palace were any better, they would have popped it through them. But he needs to work and practice on these teams at the lower end of the division. So when they get to play against the Liverpools, the Man Cities, the Chelseas of this world, the teams where they want to be up in and around, they'll be able to play that style rather than retreat back to the box again and start playing counter-attacking football. So, yeah, you'd have to say it was a positive. They've done the job today. On to the next.
Let's take a look at the first goal then of the Ralf Rangnick era, and it was scored in the 77th minute by Fred. Not the most likely of scorers, Owen, but what did you make of the finish?
Well, there's a lot of detail actually to this because, first of all, the finish is unbelievable, and Bruno had a little pop about Fred gets one a year. But look at the position of Dalot. You know, Wan-Bissaka wouldn't be there. Good left-footed ball into Mason Greenwood. Look at the bodies United have. You know, so because Dallow's high, that means Mason Greenwood could come inside. And Tim made a great point. Look at the weight of this pass for Fred. If he overhits that, he can't shoot. And just the pure options that United have, with having an attacking fullback in Dallow, Mason Greenwood come closer to Ronaldo, Fred can squeeze in. So that in itself was a little bit different, because when Wan-Bissaka plays there, he's not often in that position, which means Mason Greenwood's outside. And so I like the goal because I think it is a sign of a slight change in the way they're going to play.
Did you notice that change in the goal as well, Karen?
I noticed a lot of change. I mean, going back to the Watford result, it's night and day.
Yeah.
But I agree, condensing the pitch, bodies in the right area. I think changing the two fullbacks, like you said, really key. Just better quality in possession. The two fullbacks for Man United haven't been good enough for this period, but now they've come in technically good, crosses into the box, higher up, and you get the end result. It's just a case of now, if Crystal Palace had turned them and gone long and direct and opened the pitch up a little bit more, it would have been interesting to see how they cope with that. But for now, ticked, like you said, ticked so many boxes, and it's night and day from Watford to today.
Yeah, the result probably was the most important thing today for Manchester United, and they got it. 1-0 winners. Welcome back to Matchday Live. We've already had 3 games in the Premier League this Sunday. We've been watching and focusing on Manchester United, who beat Crystal Palace by a 0-0 at Old Trafford in Ralf Rangnick's first game in the dugout there. And it's the start of what looks on paper like a relatively kind run of fixtures. These are the next 10 that Manchester United face. Owen Hargreaves, when you look at those fixtures, you've got to feel there's an opportunity for him to build some real momentum here.
Should do. Win. It should be 10 wins. I mean, let's
Does
be
that
honest.
with it, though, bring pressure, perhaps? The fact that he won't be
that's why you
expected
play
to
for
win
Man
these?
United. You should beat these.
Yeah.
The reason you play for Manchester United is because it's when you play in the big games. That's what makes a top player. Anybody in the squad can play and they'll win those games. Anybody of the other players. The good thing is you got Varane to come back, you got Pogba to come back. If they start keeping clean sheets in these games, which they should do, they'll build some confidence, work on that press, get a little bit fitter, and they should be in a really, really good position. When you get to February 12th, they should be flying and full of confidence.
Today was big. We knew that the result was the most important thing, Karen, but particularly against Crystal Palace, in those kind of games where they've been expected to win, the pressure's been on them. In the past, they haven't been able to deliver all 3 points. So psychologically, will that be a boost as well?
Yeah, massive for the confidence. And maybe that's, you asked earlier about him saying go and enjoy themselves. And when you're under that pressure, you don't perform, you play stressed. And I think maybe he's taking that off them. And it was just a perfect way to get going, really. Crystal Palace were poor. I don't think they've been playing particularly well. But everything went super well. They would have liked more goals. But I think he's defensive-minded coach, and then to build on the attack. And they've got a clean sheet, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it was their first clean sheet in 16 home games in all competitions. How big is that as well, Tim?
Well, it breeds confidence. I'm sure Ʞᴍ is happy with that. It's been like the Alamo, isn't it, over the last 3 games for him. Certainly the local derbies, which were harmful, very emotional games against City and Liverpool. And then you go away at Watford, and they almost turned up and expected to win, and they got shocked. To concede that amount of goals, I'm sure that they got some solidity there. It always helps when the defenders are a bit further away from your goal and they're not defending the penalty area, because all it takes is a drop of a shoulder with a talented young player or any player in the Premier League, and they can score against you. So I think they defended OK today. I think Maguire was back. It was a very good header when he cuts his eye. I think it was an important time at 1-1. I mean, he's took a lot of criticism over the past few months, but I think he defended that very, very well. And Fred and McTominay, we always criticise them. I mean, everyone's criticised Fred. No matter how long we sat here, people always find faults in his game. But every single manager that takes over at the football club always plays him. So he must be doing something right. I think he's a very responsible player. I think he gives everything. He never lets you down. There's no self-indulgence in him. I just think he plays for the team, and that is hence why he plays. When the manager takes over, they can trust him. And I think that they've got the 2 solid boys in there now. I think they can learn. I think McTominay can learn as well in that position. I think he's capable. And they've got so many options. So Cavani to come back in, Pogba to come back in, Varane. For chasing that top 4 spot, there's not a squad in the Premier League more equipped to get there than Manchester United. With that run of fixtures, I think Man United fans have got every right to feel really optimistic about the future.
Yeah, that win taking Manchester United up to 6th in the Premier League table. I mean, he made some big calls in that second half as well, didn't he? Taking the likes of Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes off. Do you think that was just an opportunity for him to try and see different players, or was that a statement of intent?
No, I think it is to see the players. I mean, you know, Tim makes a point about Pogba coming back in. You know, if Pogba plays, say, instead of ᴜᴏ McTominay, and they, you know, they're playing in one half, then you got another guy that can play a pass into Cristiano Ronaldo. So I thought they played OK, but Marcus was really quiet today. Bruno was pretty quiet today. The fullbacks were a big feature. And, you know, the squad depth is amazing. It's really, really good. So getting those guys, you know, Varane and Pogba into the side, United have easily one of the strongest teams in the Premier League, but they need to start playing like. And I thought today was a first decent step towards that.
Yeah, top four will surely be the aim for Manchester United. Now, another team.
Ralf, well done. A winning start. What did you make of it?
I'm very happy with the way that the team performed, the way they played. Especially the first half hour was exceptional, I thought. Extreme high intensity and tempo. The only thing that was missing in that period of the game was the 1 or 2-0. But the way the team defended as a team, the whole game, we had control on the game. So I'm very happy with the game, the performance, but also with the result. Clean sheet, that's the most important part.
How big is that? It's just United's 3rd clean sheet all season.
I mean, I said from the very beginning when I had my first press conference, this is the things that we have to improve on. We need to produce clean sheets. We need to have and get control on the game. And with only one training session, or it was not even a full training session, what they did, what they showed today was more than I expected, to be honest.
So the word control was used a lot there during Ralf Rangnick's first post-match interview as Manchester United boss. That was something you said you wanted to see. Do you agree with him there, Owen?
Yeah, well, because, I mean, we've covered United all season. They didn't have control of any of the games. And to be honest with you, they had a pretty easy run of fixtures at times. So, you know, to not have control against City and Liverpool, you can understand that. But when you play the lower teams, even, you know, Everton and Newcastle, you know, Watford, a lot of the games were completely out of control. And defensively, they were better. They had more control. There was patterns of play. So I think there's some. It's a good start for United.
Can anybody out there hear me?